Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. It's Sunday night. You know what that means? Time for a nice WWE pay-per-view. The final pay-per-view of 2015 TLC. With, what is it? I believe 4 titles on the line tonight. What's gonna happen? How will the WWE close out 2015? I got my notes. Let's get started. First up, on the pre-show, we have Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. Yeah, these two didn't really have much to do for this pay-per-view, so it was nice of them to give them a nice pre-show match. The match was okay, a good warm-up for the crowd, but there were some botchy moments in it where they had a little bit of miscommunication between Becky and Sasha. It's noticeable if you go back and watch it, but not so glaringly obvious. But anyway, thanks to the shenanigans from Team Bad members Naomi and Tamina, the boss picks up the win on the little last kicker. Nice match. Sorry, Griffin, that you missed that. He really loves Becky Lynch. Anyway, we go to the pay-per-view proper with our first matchup tonight. The New Day defends their tag team titles against the Usos and the Lucha Dragons in a triple threat tag team ladder match. It's been a while since we've seen one of these, and this one delivered. I got a lot of vibes from, if you were watching wrestling back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know the 3 teams that defined that era of tag team wrestling were Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. This is right up there with them. This was a spectacular ladder match between these 3 teams. All of them showcased what brought them to the game, and Xavier Woods was on commentary. There were a lot of great spots from all of these guys, but probably the spot that made me lock my ass up was Kalisto doing a Salino del Sol off the top of the ladder on one of the Usos through another ladder. I can't do that move any justice. It is a spectacular, spectacular spot. And it is worthy to be called Spot of the Night. Watch it. So anyway, thanks to the timely intervention of Xavier Woods and his trombone, the New Day retain. I like it. Love the New Day. Love it. Unicorn power. Next up, we got a nice little breather match. Ryback versus Rusev. No special stipulations. This was a passable match. Nothing, oh my god, bad, but nothing really spectacular. I mean, it's a Ryback match. What can you expect? I'd say it's probably the weakest match on the entire card. Mostly because if they had more stipulations for like some of the other matches, I might have been more enjoyable for this, but not really. Rusev wins by making Ryback choking Ryback out with the accolade. Next up, Alberto Del Rio, roll the R's, versus the All-American Jack Swagger. Chairs match for the United States title. This was a very good matchup. Very good matchup. The build-up was so-so. I mean, considering that with the relationship between Zeb and the 2 guys in this was a pretty good matchup. Both guys showed it was a perfect balance of in-ring wrestling and some extreme bumps with the chairs. They both used the chairs to varying degrees of extremeness, even with Jack Swagger putting the Patriot Lock on Del Rio with the chair on. This is a very good matchup. This once again shows you that Jack Swagger is a very underrated talent in the ring. He is very, very good when he's in there with the right person, and Del Rio was the right person for this match. I love this match. The ending was fucking brutal. Making the back of my head hurt. But ADR walks away and he retains. Next up, the Wyatt family, made up of Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Braun, the Mountain That Rides Strowman, versus Team ECW, made up of the Dudley Boys, the Innovator of Violence Tommy Dreamer, and the Man-Beast Rhino, in a 8-man tag elimination tables match. Essentially what a tables match is, you have to drive or put your opponent through a table. But in this case, if that person is put through a table, they are eliminated. They can't fall through the table unless a person from the opposite team has some interference with that kind of match. Now, the Spoonie one said that this was a cluster, that this sounds like a cluster, looks like a clusterfuck match, and it kind of was. An entertaining clusterfuck, but a clusterfuck nonetheless. A lot of spots. There was a tease that Bubba Ray might have be using some lighter fluid, and we also saw Tommy Dreamer use a cheese grater to the nuts. But otherwise, like I said, this was a clusterfuck match. Entertaining as it was, the Wyatt family wins this because they really need to win. They lost the feud against the Brothers of Destruction. They needed a pay-per-view win. Sorry, boys. I love you, Dudley Boys and Tommy and Rhino, but the Wyatts just need to win more. Next up, Intercontinental title on the line. Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose. No stipulations, just a regular old match, and what a match this was. It means Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. This was a good matchup. These two have worked well together in the past. They work well together now. Very solid match. Very good in-ring action. I liked it. I loved it. I really didn't care who won the match, but in the end, Titty Master wins, becoming an Intercontinental Champion. His second singles title, but first singles title since breaking up with the Shield. Yeah. Let's see. That kind of makes me realize something, that all the members of the Shield have all held the tag team titles, the United States title, the Intercontinental title, and the World Heavyweight title. I guess you could call them Grand Slam champions if you went by that. But anyway, next matchup, a Divas title match. Charlotte, accompanied by her father, the 2-time Hall of Famer, 16-time World Champion Ric Flair, versus Paige, Divas title. Now, I said on Twitter and on the CBR forums that you expect some dirt in this match. This was not going to end clean. If you had any oppositions that this was going to be end clean, then you need to watch more wrestling. This was dirt from the get-go. This was the culmination of Charlotte's heel turn, even though there really is no face in this match because Paige is still kind of crazy and Charlotte's still kind of a heel. This was a good match. Very good match. Good in-ring work. I wasn't feeling all the alliterations to Ric Flair. It kind of got a little hammy or heavy with it. Now, a few people are saying that this makes Charlotte look worse than the Bellas. No. I will respectfully disagree. Charlotte's not good on the mic, or she doesn't have a really good personality, but she is in no way worse than the Bellas. That is physically impossible. There is only one person in the entire WWE, all of wrestling, that I can consider worse than the Bellas, and that's Eva Marie. And I bullshit you not. Charlotte is nowhere near as bad as the Bellas. She's not good as she should be, but she's nowhere near as bad as the Bellas. It's nowhere near that bad. But anyway, thanks to some significant amounts of dirt, Charlotte retains. Thanks to some dirt. Welcome to the dirt side of the force. So anyway, moving on to our main event. Sheamus, Roman Reigns, TLC match for the World Heavyweight title. Now I'm just going to say this out loud. The crowd was not feeling this match. Like at all. This should tell you that how much they were not feeling this match. In the first 5 minutes, they were chanting for John Cena. Let me repeat that. In the first 5 minutes of the match, the crowd was chanting for John Cena. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that John this is his hometown of Boston. Maybe that had something to do with it. But normally they would cheer for anyone else. They would more than likely cheer for CM Punk because, the fans still love CM Punk, even though CM Punk is never coming back. And they did cheer for CM Punk. They cheered for Daniel Bryan. They cheered for a lot of people. They cheered for NXT. But to cheer for John Cena, they were not feeling this match. And a lot of people weren't. And not to say that this match was bad. This was an extremely, extremely physical matchup that would see these guys really, really hurting. Because a lot of people are going to be sore tonight because they pulled off some good stuff tonight. But nobody was feeling it, including myself. Not to say it was bad. There were some great and brutal spots in it. It's just that nobody wants to see Sheamus and Roman Reigns in the main event. It's just how it is. Like I said, the match itself was good. Not the best match. That could probably be either Alberto Del Rio and Swagger or the tag team title match. Those two are the best matches of the night. This, people just weren't feeling it. Now, the end comes when it looks like Roman Reigns is just inches away from getting the world title. When Rusev, well, Vice President Rusev and Ambassador to America, Alberto Del Rio, come down to provide some much needed interference. Roman Reigns gets past them and eats a bro kick from Sheamus. Now Griffoon brought this up on Twitter. He said that where was the Usos and Dean Ambrose and all this? Well, earlier in the night, they had Dean Ambrose had said that the Usos were out. They couldn't compete. They were just too fucked up from that tag match. And as for Dean, well, he probably left the building with Renee Young, and they're probably celebrating. And his idea of celebrating, but anyway, he eats a bro kick. Sheamus climbs the ladder, and then he looks down and he sees Roman Reigns getting back up, and he has this incredulous look on his face, like, how can you still be up, fella? He has this incredulous look on his face. And so Sheamus hightails it up the ladder, gets the title. President Sheamus retains. And once again, for what? The third or fourth time this year, Roman Reigns just comes that close to being world champion. Yep. And he decides to go nuts. Call him a Slim Jim because he just snapped. He picks up a chair and just starts waylaying on everyone in sight. Then the referees and the authority, the Admiral and Sexy Power, come out and try to calm his ass down. Then Roman appears to calm down, but then he's like, chair, Triple H is back. 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 I got an idea. And he decides to beat the shit out of the Admiral. He lays him out with a Superman punch, annihilates him with a chair, puts him through a table twice, and then finally spears the shit out of him. And and Steph gets this look on her face. You know the look I'm talking about if you've watched WWE for a long time. This look of just pure hate mixed with disgust, with a side order of you done fucked up now. And Roman is like, I know, I don't care. And he just walks away. And for the first time all year, Roman Reigns was completely and totally over with the crowd. There were no boos, there were no half cheers. The entire arena just erupted in mass nuts. I was going to say that before this match, if Roman Reigns wins, he would not get as big a reaction as Dean Ambrose got when he won the Intercontinental title tonight. And they went nuts. They went nuts when Dean Ambrose won. But after this match, he is over with the crowd significantly. This is what I was talking about Roman Reigns. He needed to do something more than what he had been doing. He just needed to more of this. This is what I wanted to see out of him. More oomph, more personality, more intensity, more just of a person who just doesn't give a fuck. They tried making him like The Rock. They've tried making him like John Cena. And you can't tell me they didn't try to make him look like John Cena after that whole tater tots incident last week. This is what got him over. Just him snapping and destroying everything in sight. The last person who did that this year was Brock Lesnar after Seth Rollins completely screwed him out of the world title the next night on Raw. This is what we wanted to see from Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is going to suffer for this more than he really should, because Stephanie is still a McMahon, and if there's one thing McMahon excel at, it's making you pay for fucking with them. So, that was TLC. My thoughts? This was a very solid pay-per-view to end on. I have really no complaints about this. Probably the weakest match on the card was Ryback versus versus Rusev. That was probably the weakest match on the card, and that's only because we've seen it many times before. All the other matches were solid. I loved the tag title match. I surprisingly loved the U.S. title match. I loved the Intercontinental title match, which I'm glad TD Master won. I was good and pleasantly pleased with the Divas title, and the World Heavyweight title match, while I wasn't feeling it, I appreciate what they went through, and that ending was just what I was looking for from from Roman Reigns. So hopefully he can transfer some of this and keep this momentum going to enter tomorrow night, and hopefully the rest of the year and into next year, and we can finally see him evolve and grow into the main eventer and world champion that the WWE has been trying to push down our throats for the past 11 or so months. So yeah, that's my video. Like what you see? Link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions, comments, or just want to talk about this event? Leave it below. I'll get back to you. Want to support the channel? Patreon is in the description below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to be more active on Twitter. Tip jar is up there. You know what to do. So, until next time, this has been shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good day. And damn it, Roman, you just got over.